What's up, guys? So finally back in Montreal, which is great. I just finished the 2025, it was weird because I made this mistake, the 2025 ADCC Open here in Canada. It wasn't in Montreal, it was in Toronto, but there was a lot to take note from. Obviously, I ended up winning. I guess that's not obvious, right? But if you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw I ended up winning, so it's not really a spoiler, right? But there was a lot of things to talk about when it came to this tournament. In particular, it was weird doing the ADCC Ruleset again, but some things that I will talk about, because as you guys know, I always keep notes, and this isn't just like a highlight reel video. I like to express to you guys what I was feeling. Before I get to that, it was super cool. I met a lot of you guys. Thank you for taking pictures. It was awesome. It was fun. People always ask, and I repeat this over and over again. They'll say, when can I like ask you to take pictures? I hate that I even have to say this. I'm sorry if I sound conceited or anything, but if you see me warming up, or you know that like if you check out the bout board and you see my matches like within an hour, probably not the best time, but pretty much any time after I'm finished competing, or like 2 hours or an hour and a half to 2 hours before my match, you're good. But from my first match till my last, probably not the best time, because I'm in the zone, right? But anyways, talking about the tournament, I ended up having 3 matches. My first match ended in a heel hook. Second match, I won 8-0. Last match, I won 3-0. The biggest note I had was I need to tighten up my submission game, specifically finishing from the back against bigger guys or finishing from the mount. I do pretty well at getting to the back against bigger and better people. It's consistently been one of my best positions to get to. Specifically, I guess it's just being a wrestler. You know, we did a lot of top game, and I was a really good rider, and so getting to the back's never been that hard for me in jiu-jitsu. Controlling the back and finishing from the back against these giants, like these guys were both about 20-30 pounds bigger than me, like not the first guy, but the last 2 guys from Detroit. They're both huge giant dudes, and I felt like I struggled to even get my head. For me, I really love the rear naked choke, and I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it this year, but I struggled to get my head over my partner's shoulders, which made it extremely tough for me to control them and made it really tough for me to finish the choke. Obviously, that's also, it's not just that my technique's bad necessarily, it's a credit to both of my opponents. But that was like one of the biggest notes, is I have to clean up my finishing mechanics, especially against these bigger and better people. I was also, a big thing I was super surprised about was that everyone would stand up when I would start to pass. So obviously you guys, I mean, it's not a secret, right? I like to do lots of outside passing. I love watching Dorian Oliveira's, learning a lot from Pixley, Pedigo, etc., etc. So I've been doing a lot of outside passing, and guys just keep standing up, which is this really odd thing where I'm like, I'm so used to guys wanting to just play guard in certain situations, but I guess at the bigger weight class, guys are just like, bump that. It's tough to kind of retain guard when someone's moving around you a lot, so people are just standing up, which isn't necessarily the bad thing for me, but now it's like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to keep people from standing up, because it's exhausting to keep taking people down. I ended up, it's so bad in my last match, I ended up tweaking my knee. Nothing too bad. It sucks because it was like, it was a little lapse of focus where I kind of went for like a Harai Goshi when I could have just kind of just bailed out because time was already up, and it was, okay, well, a little lack of maturity, lack of awareness on my end. I'm good. My knee's fine now. Just buckled a little bit, a little sprain I got, but I'm totally fine. And the next point was I got a pretty big win. I went against Sean Goldsby from Detroit. He's a no-gi black belt European champion from this past year, 2024. It was a really good win. He was really, really strong. Lots of you guys were there. Lots of you guys saw the match. He did a really good job of doing these mercy grips, which made it extremely hard for me to take him down. On top of the fact that he was just a big guy, big judo guy. So I was having a lot of trouble getting in deep on shots. So end up winning the match pretty close to the end. I won't say the end, about 2 minutes left, I was able to hit an ankle pick, get to the back, and then I chased the back out of bounds. And the great thing is, like in IBGF, they would have reset that, meaning I wouldn't have been able to start back on the back. But with the ADCC rule sets, it keeps going. I end up getting to the back. They reset us, but in the middle with me in the standing rear body lock, which is a position I'm pretty comfortable at, end up taking the back. We got into a bit of a scramble. Then eventually he gets out. I had my 3 points. I win the match. Pretty big win. Not the win I would have necessarily wanted. The guy's really good though. You know, I have to remind myself that not every win is going to be a highlight reel win, although it sucks because I really enjoy those type of wins, but it's cool. It was a great competition. It's my second competition of the year already. That just got me up to about 55 matches in 4 years of jiu-jitsu, my brown belt debut. And my last thing that's on the schedule right now, like confirmed, there's one big thing that should be announced sometime soon. Last thing that's confirmed on the schedule for the next couple of months is the Montreal Quintet, which is in about a month. I'm gonna be helping out Team TriStar. It's just the gym that I primarily train at here in Montreal. It's in Montreal, so I'm not actually traveling this time. Hopefully I can get like a good vlog about that. I really don't know how many matches I'll have with that because it's a team event. I've never done a team event. It's not really up to me to see how, you know, it's gonna work. But anyways, regardless, let's get to the highlights of the video. We'll talk a little bit more after. Yep, and that was the tournament. Very, very fun tournament, very tough matches. The first guy is Zarab, Georgian dude, Georgian wrestler guy. Very, very sweet guy, very cool guy. He's come to a ton of my seminars up and around Toronto. I really appreciate that guy. It was all love. Second guy, Big Steve, that was just a giant, honestly. Just a very aggressive giant brown belt, very tough. And then final guy, Sean Goldsby, really, really tough black belt out of Detroit. Has his own gym. I forget what the name is, but you guys should obviously visit it. He's a really cool guy. It was cool talking to him. Apparently, like he's I thought he was Brazilian at first because he wears like a Brazilian rash guard, but he's American. He's black and white like me, but he trained in Brazil for like 8 years, I believe. Very, very cool story. He's an awesome competitor. I'm sure we will run that back. It was a tough match. It was an extremely tough match, and that's why we signed up for these tournaments, right? I do these tournaments because they suck. You know, I did the grappling industries to kind of warm up for this one, and I think it really showed. It really helped. I was able to like kind of open up, fire off a lot of attacks. And the final was a little bit more strategic because I kind of knew like my opponent, Sean, was going to be very, very strategic too. So it's hard to beat those really, really good IBJJF guys in the strategy portion, or the strategy realm, whatever you want to call it. But I was able to kind of be strategically a little bit better, at least in that match. Who knows what happens in the next time, but hopefully we can run that back and either one of us can run the score up a little bit more. Wasn't my prettiest win, but it was another good notch under the belt. No-gi black belt European champ who happened to train with Philippe Pena, the guy who absolutely told me at ADCC, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun tournament. I know I sound tired. It's because I am tired. I went to sleep at like 12 and woke up at 7 for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, last thing, I got Montreal Quintet coming up. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. And I have a new instructional that is going to drop in like the next, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be a takedown defense for beginners instructional. So very basic, very short. I think it's going to be like about an hour long. But you guys have been asking me for a defense instructional. This instructional is going to be very conceptually based, teach you guys what I look for when it comes to takedown defense. It's not going to be anything funky or crazy. So if that's what you're looking for, it's not really going to be for you. It's going to be solid stuff that works at a high level, you know, at a low level all the way up to high level, right? And it's made for you jiu-jitsu people who don't have any level of wrestling. It's not particularly made for the guy who already has 5 years of wrestling, right? But if you're tired of waiting if you don't want to wait for that and you want to start to learn more, you guys can check out my Patreon, or you guys can find my instructionals with the links below. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you next time.